Wake up, get the money, consume and repeat. They look at you funny if you don't compete for $1 and a dream. Have you ever wanted something so bad?
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Music.Money.Mind, brought to you by theendlessiam.com, which is a place where you can find endless inspirations on how to become a better version of yourself. It's really a place that I have been aiming to try to make all about empowerment, expression, and expansion, because those are the things that are important to me, and I hope that you find it there. New music, quotes, blogs, fun things. But anyways, today we are here to talk about living your life, not theirs. This is a big one for particularly people in the creative field. I don't want to make us sound like we're some special breed, because music artists famously tend to do that. You know, I'm a musician, so I'm like an alien. I'm not human. We're not special, unique, different people. We are just like everyone else, but it's very easy for creative people in any creative expression, whether you're an actor, singer, photographer, designer, whatever. It's hard to navigate life in our society in ways because the expectations that, I don't want to call them normal people, but I guess people who are 9-to-5ers, people who have more straightforward career paths that aren't necessarily in the creative field. It's hard to live up to their lifestyle standards. And, you know, we don't have to, but a lot of us put pressure on ourselves to do that. There are two types of creative people. There are people like me, and maybe you're like this too, who are definitely creatives. They've got all the characteristics, but they still have the desire or the guilt trip or the feeling like they need to try to fit in a little bit, or, you know, try to impress people, or, you know, there's like that little bit of feeling like I gotta still be kind of normal. I think that comes from not feeling like you fit in, comes from being bullied as a young kid. I know for me that's the case. Even though I always wanted to be different, I hated being bullied because it sucked. I got bullied physically and emotionally for years, and it was really bad. So it's normal to, I think, want to have a little bit of element of like, okay, I don't want to feel like a complete oddball. The other side is you've got the creative people who are like, I don't give two shits. I don't even give one shit, matter of fact, what you think, or if I'm living up to your bullshit standards. Those are, you know, the Einsteins of the world. Those are the really far out, you know, like the Princes of the world. Like Prince was like, I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm going to wear women's blouses and I'm going to wear eyeliner. And I still pull lots of girls, you know what I mean? And I don't care if people think it's stupid. I don't care if, obviously, Prince was wildly successful, so people loved and respected him. But I'm sure when he first started, there were a lot of people who made fun of him, obviously, and who said, like, what you're doing is never going to work. L.A. Reid told Lady Gaga that what she was doing was never going to work. And she was dropped. She was either dropped from her first deal or he wouldn't sign her because she was too weird. Obviously, he was wrong. So those are the two different kind of people. I am definitely the first category. I am a full-on creative, and it's like half of me doesn't give a shit what you think, and I'm going to do it anyways, blah, blah, blah. But I still have that part that's insecure and that wants approval, right? That wants validation. So it's something that I'm working on. But how do you navigate if you are in that first category like me and feel like, you know, you have the confidence, like you're moving forward and feel like you're successful to yourself, to your own standards, not to society standards? And that's why I came up with the title, Live Your Life, Not Theirs. I can't take total credit for that title. There's a book, I think, with that title by Rachel Cruz, but it's more about just financial stuff. Live your life, not theirs. So how do we do that? Well, I think like I've said before in the videos where I talked about budgeting when it comes to being a creative and kind of how to go full time in your career, the same thing applies for the rest of your life. So the most important thing is to understand that whatever it is that's important to you as a person, let's take the artist part out of it or the creative part out of it. What's important to you as a person? I think identify what really matters to you. Like, what are your values, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Yours, not anybody else's, not what your church told you, not what your school told you, your parents, whatever. What are your values? What things are important to you? When you understand that, then you can create a plan for yourself and expectations and goals. And so many of us make goals and do planning for our lives based on really low vibration emotions. Like either it's trying to reach for what somebody else has, or out of feeling paranoid or feeling desperate, or like I need to feel better about myself, so I need to set these goals so that I can look successful or feel better about myself. You want to make goals and plans around your life situations based on just what feels good to you, what's important to you. So, for example, I'll use myself an example just because obviously I know myself better than I know anyone else. Maybe you can relate to this. I am a music artist and I am an entrepreneur, and that is my main thing. Aside from my family, which is unbelievably important to me, the people that I care about mean more than anything, even above my music, which nothing else comes above my creativity and my music, but family does. Health maybe, but anyways. So that part of my life is so important, right? Getting married and having kids, low on my list. Be honest, low on my list. I'm 29 years old. I do want it. It is something that is a desire. I do love children, but it's not that important to me, at least right now. It's never been high on my list. I've never been the girl who dreamed about her wedding day and who tried on wedding dresses. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's never been a high priority for me. Equally, I've never really been into high fashion or expensive clothes or bags. Again, nothing wrong with it. It's just not my interest. I don't have a desire to have Gucci bags and Chanel. I mean, I like them, and hey, if you want to gift me with some of that shit, I ain't mad at you, but it's never been really that important to me. Equally with cars, I just want a car that I feel comfortable in, that I enjoy, that I like the style of, and that'll last a long time. Honda Civic, best, right? It's not because those things are bad to want luxury or whatever, or to want, marriage and kids. It's just that those things aren't really that important to me. What's important to me, my values are family, right? Like having solid, good, loving relationships, being the best person that I can for them, being as loving and compassionate as I can in general. That's something that I work on every day. My health and my creative business. That is what's important to me. So yes, I want these levels of success in my music career and all that, but it's more important to me that I am just able to do all the things I want to do and make enough money that I can live comfortably and I can be healthy and happy and take care of myself and my family. So it's most important just to establish what your values are, what's important to you. If getting married and having kids is important to you, great. It's okay if you're a creative, person who you're focused on your career, but you also really want to be a mom or really want to be a dad. That's great. Understand that that's really important to you. So you need to build your life around both. And it is possible to do both, to be a stay-at-home mom or dad and have a career, or, work full-time in your business and be a parent, whatever. Or if you like luxury stuff, if that's what makes you happy, there's nothing wrong with that. If you love high fashion shit or you love really expensive exotic cars, cool. Make that a part of your lifestyle. Nothing wrong with that, right? Or if you have hobbies that you really like outside of your creative business, whatever it is, incorporate that in your life and make plans and understand that the directions you're moving in are based on what's important to you. So within that same realm, the second thing after you establish your values that you really, really want to focus on is letting go of what other people's values are. It's hard, especially for the people who grew up in a religious household. I, for a certain period of time in my life, early on, grew up not only going to Bible study every Wednesday night and church on every Sunday, but I would go to vacation Bible school every summer in Forest Falls, and I went to a Christian school for a certain amount of time. So I grew up in a religious household for a certain period. So the values and ideas of what you're supposed to want and have in life, a lot of things I learned from them that I don't necessarily agree with now, right? For example, being married before you move in with somebody or before you do certain things, being an important value, it's not important to me. I don't believe that, and that's okay if you do. But you do learn a lot of things from other people. There's expectations put on you, and so you have to learn to let go of that, and that can be really hard. But something I learned recently from Abraham Hicks is it's much harder to try to change an old belief than it is to just establish a new one. So rather than saying, okay, I gotta let go of and change this belief around how much money I should have right now or what age I should have a kid or whatever, don't try to go back and change your programming. There's so much stuff around when the self-help community right now around changing your paradigm. I don't feel like you need to go in and dig in and change unless it's something that's really traumatic, of course, and you need therapy. But I feel like just establish the new thing that you want, right? That's what visualization is all about, like tapping into and visualizing the new you, right? Or the new circumstances that you have. So just focus on, what is the opposite of what I don't like, right? Simplified in a not very elegant way to say it, but if I've been told my whole life I'm supposed to have a house by the time I'm 30, or I'm supposed to be married and have a kid by the time I'm 35, or blah blah blah, whatever it is, I'm supposed to be famous if I'm working as an actor by this age, or just forget it. These are things that you need to establish new ideas about. So your new ideas can be, wow, technology is really advancing and you can be much older and safely have a child now than you could a couple decades ago, right? People are living longer. People are able to like I said, have kids later, or, adoption is always an amazing, incredible option, right? Start focusing on the things that, are the new beliefs, right? Well, the economy has been a little bit interesting lately, trying to use nice terms instead of shitty. So maybe buying a house right now is actually really not the best time. So, I'm doing my thing, focusing on my career right now rather than having my own house and cars and all these things that all my friends are doing, because this phase in my life is about building, right? Building my career, building my business. So the house, the cars, all these other things that people say I should have, that's later for me. My life is different than yours. So I think just really establishing what are my values, and then, what are the beliefs, the new beliefs that I want to have instead of the old ones that are really pulling at me. That's really helped me because I had a lot of them holding me back. It seems so simple, but it's a process, because we're so ingrained to think that we need certain things at a certain age or a certain stage in our life. So it's going to take a little bit of time to let that go, but really sit down and break down what are the things in life that I need or want. Like I said, I'm very focused on my career. I'm not really caring too much about other things right now, but I want a new car. I'm looking at new cars right now. I got a 2015 Honda Civic, so it's not like I need it now. I could drive that car for years more and be fine. But I'm looking at new cars. I'm looking at some Acuras, and I'm like, okay, I might want to upgrade. So I want that. I obviously want to move back closer, at least closer to LA, because I've been out for so long within an hour, 2 hours from LA, that I miss it, and I need to be there for a lot of work opportunities and music opportunities, but it's just been too expensive, and I need parking. I'm not dealing with not having parking. I circled trying to find parking for 40 minutes over and over and over and over again, and it just adds so much stress to my life. I would rather commute and drive an hour than live close but spend 40 minutes looking for parking. Anyways, Another discussion for a different day. But once you recognize the things that are important to you, really understand that you don't need to feel any type of guilt for not prioritizing things other people are prioritizing. And the more that you try to prioritize those other things that, aren't important to you, the more it's going to drain from the things that are important to you. So, that's a big thing. It's an energy drain. It's a creativity drain to focus on, getting a fancy new car, getting married, having kids, or even reaching a certain status level or whatever in your career. You're an actor, you still haven't been in any big movies, or you still haven't gotten an agent. It's been 10 years or whatever. Who fucking cares? What's important to you? Is acting important to you? Then act. And if you're acting, you're an actor, right? And you got your goals, and yes, you want to reach them, but if other people's view of your success and your happiness is just, well, has he actually made it and become famous yet? That doesn't have to be your view. That's what's so important to understand. So I know I've rambled and said it more than once now, but seriously, understand what is important to you and what's important to other people. What is their influence on you? And you'll discover more of it as you go along. Like, these things don't really fit me, these things do. So make sure that you really identify that difference. That's so important. Now, once you've identified what things are important to you, obviously we want to focus most of our time on those things, but the other little things that are like, I want it, but it's not that important. Like for me, the car, it's not that important. Getting a house, I really do want it, but it's not my number one main priority. So find ways that you can set up systems for yourself that kind of one step at a time, 1% every day, slowly start going towards those goals on autopilot, where you don't have to focus all this energy on it. That's something that you can do. I know for me with the car, I have a little savings app where I'm just putting away a tiny little bit of money because I want to save up and buy this car cash. I don't want to ever finance a car again. I want to pay way less by paying cash. So I put a little bit away at a time, like an amount that I don't really notice, that doesn't really hurt my bank account, just little bits. When I get any extra little random gigs and I get a little bit of money, particularly if it's not a lot of money, it's like $50. I really don't need this $50 right now to survive. So I just kind of put it aside into this little account, and it's very slowly but surely building. Same with getting a place. Building up a little bit of cash. I'm not obsessing about it every day. I'm not worrying. It's just systems that can automate whatever it is. If you are, let's say, looking for love and you do want to find somebody, I am not an expert on dating or relationships, but find something that you can slowly move towards it in a way that's not stressful, that's not obsessing, that's not, desperately trying to find it. Because whether or not you believe in the law of attraction, I will tell you, when you are easy about something, when I say easy, I don't mean that you don't have any passion about it or you don't care. But when it's not stressful, when it's like, I want this thing, I know it'll come, but, one thing at a time, like you just kind of like chill out about it. Things seem to happen a lot faster and the path seems much easier. So let's say you're looking for love right now. You want to get married and have some babies. I don't know. Maybe getting older and you're like, it's time to settle down, Then, what little things can you do to start moving towards that? Maybe in a non-stressful way, you can start going out more. You can start saying yes more when just friends invite you to come to dinner. Or, hey, we're having a few people over. We're going to have a couple drinks at my house and play pool. Like, just saying yes to more things. Because the more you are just around more new people, you never know what can happen. Doesn't mean you have to go get a dating profile and go on Tinder and start swiping and doing all this stuff. Just if it's important to you, but it's not your main thing, you don't need to put all that energy into it. You can just put it out there that I do want this, but I'm not desperate for it. I know it'll happen. Just put a little bit of motion towards it without going crazy. One thing that you'll notice is the things that you put all of this energy on. Mentally and logically, you'd think, well, obviously, if I really want something and it's really important to me, I'm going to put all this energy on it and it's going to make it happen because I want it. This is my calling, damn it. And I'm going to pull it into reality. But maybe you've already noticed that most of the time when you do that, it actually slows down the process. Those are the things, like for me, obviously, the success that I want to have in music and entertainment has been much slower. And it has not gotten to the level that I wanted it to get to yet, not even close. There's a reason for that. I really do believe that when you come at something from an obsessive thing, I want this so bad, you put so much resistance in your path because you put it on a pedestal and you make it so important that anytime a little disappointment comes, it means so much. It's like such a fucking letdown, right? It's so painful when you lose opportunities or things go wrong versus like something that you're like, oh, I would like this, and it doesn't happen. It's like, oh, well, it'll happen, whatever. It's not a big deal, right? So the things that you put on a pedestal and make so important really come much slower. They still come because consistent energy and focus and dedication towards something is going to bring it into reality. I do believe that. But you are slowing it down by obsessing, by coming at it from the lower vibration emotions, like I said. Desperation, yearning, longing versus I enjoy this thing. This is what I like to do when I wake up in the morning. I like to make music. So this is what my life's about. I do this every day. I will tell you, I've seen, just looking at celebrities, just looking at people who have made it in the things that I want to do, there are people who, chased it relentlessly and worked so hard and obsessed over it and did it every second of every day. And then there are people who were a little bit more chill about it, who kind of like fell into it and realized that, let's say they loved music one day when they woke up and, they didn't even really necessarily pursue it. Maybe they were a waitress at a diner for a while and somebody heard them sing one time and suddenly they got an opportunity. Both sides, I've seen people on both sides have the same amount of time trajectory-wise of how long it takes them to get famous or successful or whatever. Like maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's 20 years. Both people, it takes the same amount of time, but one path is much easier, or I guess more effortless. Same amount of work, right? This person is obsessing, whatever. This person's still putting in the work. They're still going to the studio making songs like this person or going to auditions, whatever. But this person is chill about it. They're like, you know what? It'll happen. If it happens, cool, whatever. So this path is much less painful. Much less painful than this one, right? They still both get there, but it's pretty obvious which path is more enjoyable. So I'm not telling you what to do or how to manifest or how to live your life, because if you are in hustle mode, I'm in hustle mode. I'm with you, kind of more on this path. That's great. And if it feels good to you, keep doing it. But recognize when you're doing things from a longing, from a desperation, from a frustration versus because I love it. Two very different things. So anyways, really, I just wanted to talk about this because I see so many people kind of giving up on their dreams or slowing down their progress in things that are so important to them because they're trying to impress other people, because they're trying to appeal to society standards or their family standards. And if you do that, then your entire life is going to be about pleasing other people, about chasing their dreams, not yours. So I really hope that this helps somebody today, and I hope that you really set yourself up, set your life up for what makes you happy. And that's kind of the last thing I wanted to say that actually just popped in my mind. I'm a big believer in creating your routine, your lifestyle, and your entire life in general around the things that just make you happy. So even just your routine, it doesn't have to be like everyone else's. For example, I love going to the gym. I love fitness. I'm all about pushing your body and all that. But I know some people that just want to be healthy and it's not really important to them to have a six-pack and to be, hardcore in the gym. So our routines are going to be different. I work out at least 5 days a week. I really go hard. I try to watch what I eat pretty well. But that's important to me. It may not be important to this other person. So they shouldn't feel pressured to go to the gym at 5 a.m. every day and set up their life like that because some motivational speaker, for example, said, I get up at 5 a.m. every day, and if you join the 5 a.m. club, you're going to be successful in life. Like, okay, maybe in their life, but maybe your life is, hey man, I do enough physical activity just to stay healthy. You know, I go on walks when I can, whatever, but I would rather center my mornings around meditation, or around sitting outside and being in nature, or around listening to my favorite music, or writing or drawing. Like, set your life up and your day up how it makes you happy, how it makes you thrive, not anybody else. If you really like playing video games, then there's nothing wrong with playing video games for a few hours a day. Like, it doesn't mean you're a loser. It doesn't mean that you don't work hard because you like to watch Netflix or play video games, or, you know, or even if you like to be on social media, as long as it's really what makes you feel joyful, not something that you use like a drug or alcohol to tune out from the world and escape things, right? That's very different. So anyways, point being, set your life up for how you want to be, because yeah, you may not be rich and successful in the way that you think that you should be in comparison to someone else, but who's happier? The person who, you know, just focus all their energy on success and meanwhile missed out on a lot of life. You know, they worked 60 hours a week so that they can have this big successful career, but they never got to see their kids. Their kids were with nannies all the time, right? They never got to see their wife or their husband. And now they're, you know, retiring at 65 and they're finally catching up on family time, and they've missed a lot. You hear that all the time, right? Or people who thought that if they did this thing, they would feel better about themselves, some type of validation. Like, is that person happier than the person who says, you know what, yeah, I want to be successful and make money and be rich, and I believe that I can and I will, and I'm on my way, but it's a little bit more important to me to just enjoy what I'm doing every day. This person can absolutely still become successful, rich, whatever, but they're gonna be happier for more of the time. And I don't know about you, but I want to be happier for more of the time. So, having said that, now that I'm out of steam, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, a wonderful start to your new year, and I will talk to you again soon. Peace.